This is the Markups tab. This is where you'll adjust your tax, burden, overhead, and profit in the job. This is also where you can calculate your indirect expenses such as stock, clean, supervision, or per diem. At the top of the screen, you can double-click on your base bid name. This shows your total bid amount. When you double-click, you'll open up the section Markup Detail for all sections. The costs in your bid are categorized into 5 categories: material, labor, subs, equipment, and other. If you adjust your overhead or profit at this screen, you will be adjusting the profit for the entire project, all sections. You'll see it automatically recalculate your total. You can also use this screen to negotiate work. If you type in a bid amount in the bottom right corner, you'll see it automatically recalculate your profit line. If you go below the amount of profit in your bid, you'll see it take your profit line down to 0. You can go no lower without adjusting your overhead. If you uncheck Select All Bid Sections in the top left corner, then you're able to look at your markups by section. You can use the Previous or Next button in the bottom of the screen to move to a new section. If I adjust overhead or profit from this screen now, I would only be changing the profit for thermal protection. This gives me the ability to mark up each of my sections differently. On the left side of the screen here, you'll see your indirect expenses: stock, clean, supervision, or per diem. You can click on any one of these buttons to open up the indirect expense window. Notice now at the top I can move between the tabs without having to close and reopen this window. On stock, clean, and supervision, I will have options in how I want to calculate the indirect expense. In this case, I have the ability to add a unit cost per quantity of material. So for example, I could add 3 cents a foot to this 16,066 feet. I could get a total of material cost and add a percentage on top of it. Or I can total labor hours and add an extra percentage on top for labor. If you choose material quantity or material cost, you'll have the choice of whether you show your results as a labor cost or a material cost. For this example, I'm going to add 5% for stocking the job. I'll choose an installer that would actually do the work, the wage type I want it calculated at, and then I'll choose a cost code. In this case, I know my miscellaneous cost codes start at 900, so I'll go down, find my stocking cost code, and select it. If I had multiple cost codes here in the list, once I fill out my first line item, I can click Apply to All, and that information will be filtered to all cost codes. If this is a cost I'd like included in every bid in the future, I can click Save as Default. This will add a section markup detail specific to insulation, and in all future jobs 5% will be added automatically. Within this markup detail, you also have the ability to add notes. Any notes added here in the Markup Detail Notes screen will show up on your bid proposal if you choose to show notes there. At the bottom of the screen, you'll see an area listing net totals and gross totals in your bid. Just beneath that is where you can add additional markups in your bid. To do this, you'll click the Configure button on the right-hand side. An additional markup, for example, might be a bond. This is a user-defined area, so depending on what you're adding, you'll have the choice of whether you want to add a straight amount on top of your bid, a cost per thousand, or if you want to mark something up by a percentage, either gross margin or straight. In this case, I'm going to say I want to do a % straight markup. Then you have the ability to choose where you apply that total. In this case, I'll apply it to my bid gross total, and I'll put the value at 7%. If checked, the Accepted Alternates box will automatically add that value to any accepted alternates. If this is a common markup I would want to use from job to job, I can click Save as Defaults and save it to my master. Now in future jobs, this bond will automatically come up. Or in a change order, I can click Use Defaults. Once you have an additional markup saved down below, you can simply change the number by typing directly on the screen. For more information, contact OnCenter Software today.